G'day everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host SmilePie, and today we're playing Railway Empire 2. Now, last time I did a lot of work around Boston Station. We converted the express station to a station that has dedicated platforms for specific routes, specific destinations, you could say. So zooming in there, you'll recall that we had a platform specifically dedicated to New York, Philadelphia, Albany, and the fourth platform to the south we were going to have as possibly Syracuse or whatever else we come up with. So it's a bit of a spare platform at the moment. In today's episode, I want to start doing similar things to New York's passenger station and also expanding New York's freight station. And the reason why, if we open up the task list, um, there are goals that we have, which includes developing a Boston to Philadelphia express line. So to achieve that, we'll need to have a bypass a New York bypass set up. So that's one of the items that I'd like to do today. Remembering we need to have 8 loads of salt go into New York City, but we can only do that once New York's at 70,000 population. So we'll be continuing to grow New York today as well. We need to raise 75,000 citizens in the mid-Atlantic states. So that's the region where Philadelphia is. But I don't want to complete all of those before I complete the optional tasks. So in addition to these tasks, we'll also be buying a lot of stock in Barty's company. That's not so hard. We want to reach 120,000 citizens in the Virginia region, so that's beyond Philadelphia and Washington. So that'll be a stretch. And then also we want to get 3 of our cities up to 120,000. So looking at our cities, I've decided that I want that to be Boston, New York, and Albany is already at 122,000. So if we build a university in Boston, that will keep going up. And if we continue to grow New York, that will also keep growing up. So things to keep an eye on. It will be increasing our rural businesses, so increasing the size of our rural businesses. So they need to be gradually leveled up as we get funding or revenue available to use. And then also our factories that we own within each of our cities, they also need to be upgraded because as the cities grow, they consume more and more product, and we need to produce that product since we've gone down the path of purchasing businesses and producing all of those ourselves. So that's the goals for our money. You can see as I've been talking, we've already sort of built up to 1.2 million. So let's make a start with some of the we've expanding these stations in New York. So as you can see, I've already got the topography on, which topography is helpful um, when building track essentially. So at the moment we've got a gridiron in place for just a standard main line coming out of there. But what I want to do is, and I touched on this last episode, but let's make a start by doing it straight up. So these 4 tracks here, the pair on the north side, let's call it north, they actually break away from the main line to be the tracks that run into the Albany platform. So, but what I want to do is I want the Albany train to sort of peel off and have its own tracks from back here and go across there, and that would keep this leg free for New York and Philadelphia trains. So there wouldn't be any conflict point here. We'd be removing the conflict point between mainline Philly, New York trains versus Albany trains. We'd be removing that conflict point. The only opportunity for conflict would be if we had trains that wanted to New York, Philadelphia trains that wanted to cross and reach the bypass tracks, which start further up here. So hopefully everyone's on board with what I'm saying and know what I'm talking about. But let's make a start with that. So the best way to approach it, let's start from, say, approximately up here, and we'll build another duplicate set of tracks, and we want them to actually, let's just build them up to there first. So we'll build a second set. So let's get these going. So there's a bit of earthwork involved, which is not a drama at this stage. And ideally, I want that track to be able to just run straight in, and rather than following around like that. But I don't know if it's going to work. We may have to demolish this section first. So let's put that on pause. Let's put it on demolish. Let's put the topography on just to make it a bit easier to see. And let's demolish that connection, and we will demolish this connection as well. And so this will run straight through, and that connects that, and that connects that. So that's all good and well for now. Let's set the direction of travel. And what we want is we want that to be able to cross over to here. So we're just creating a crossover point, which will enable trains that come from this southern track here, the New York Philadelphia track. They'll travel along here, and then if they want to, if we want to send them to the bypass track, they'll be able to switch tracks to over here and be on their way. Now we just need to adjust back here. So let's do that. Oh, wait, whoa. I've just made a small mess of that one. There we go. That's a bit better. And that's nice and connected. So, and then in turn we can demolish that, and we've got ourselves a nice connection. So just double check our direction of travel. So like I said, the express trains from New York and future Philadelphia will come along this track. They will turn this curve or corner, more accurate to say curve, and they'll be on this bottom main line here, and they'll travel along, go over our double tunnel, and continue along. And the bottom set has access to platform 1 and to platform 3, whereas the Albany trains, and they'll come along the main line from Albany, separate over here, and then they'll run on the north side here before they stay on this what would be the central pair, and then they've got opportunity to run straight into what would be platform 5 or alternatively platform 6. So or they could use the bypass and keep going. So for New York trains to use the bypass, they would have to use this this track join here that we've implemented. So that's one upgrade that I wanted to do. We could think about doing the mirror image on the Albany side, but we haven't set up any destination platforms on Albany side, and I don't have any desire to do that right now because I'd prefer to do that to the New York side. So let's first of all expand the number of platforms. So again, we'll put our topography on, and this is just purely for building out the platforms. So we want to have every single platform present in New York, and then that way we can establish the destination. Let's call them destination platforms. So let's have a think about what have we got coming into New York. So obviously we've got the train from Boston. So let's make platform 1 our Boston platform. And then remembering that we're going to alternate each of our platforms as best we can. So platform 2 to the south will be something from the south. So future, well, let's take that off. Future Philadelphia. We'll have a train coming into Washington, I dare say, into New York as well. Yeah, so just Philly and Washington for a start, going into New York. We'll have Albany and Boston coming in from the top. So we've accounted for 4 platforms. We'll have another 2 platforms spare, so possibly one south and one north, and we'll have the 2 bypass platforms. I think that's a fairly reasonable bit of planning. So let's start having a bit of a planning session. So platform 2, let's put that as the Philly one. Let's run that. I'm just going to run out tracks for now, just so that way if I demolish anything on either side, like any tracks on either end of each platform here, we don't lose a platform inadvertently. So there is method to my to my madness, but it's not madness. It's fantastic planning. That's what it is. If you say so, Smile Pie. Yeah, you bloody top player. Yeah. So just keeping an eye on things in general. Now, I do have another item that I do want to achieve as well. So in the future, we'll need to run this dedicated express train line, through the wheat connection pretty much. And so that wheat station as it stands now won't fit in that alignment. So I was having a think, and ideally what I want to do is have realign that grain platform and have the grain line come all the way back and join this freight line here. So that way it can the overpass here can be utilized. So because it'll be a bit tight to get either an underpass or an overpass for this wheat station, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Anyway, in the meantime, our money's starting to build up, so let's go and buy some stock. You'll recall that was one of our other goals that we're looking to do. So I own 5%. We're going to buy. If we take it up to 15, there we go. We'll spend almost 1.3, but we've got 20% of the company now, and I've spent a bit of money. But it won't take that long for us to build up more money. So I'll just run the game speed a little bit higher, just so we can build up a little bit more money. So that's we're killing it. Look at that, 120 million bucks almost. So we built up quite a bit of money in a short time. I'll just double check our research as well. So So we're aiming for this Derwent engine. We need to get 300 innovation points. We're at 200, so it's going to take a couple of months. So let's just continue on. Is there anything? Oh, there is a connection bonus up here. So let's go ahead and do this side quest, I guess. So we could connect to Ottawa from our Spur freight line. It's a pretty ugly connection, but I think it's worth it. So let's do that. So let's put a station in there. Just this one's just going to be quick and dirty. All we're doing is just getting the we just want to get that connection bonus. So that'll do. That's my straight bit. Got to have a straight bit, otherwise, what are you doing? So let's take that down to there, and then we can curve out and get it in nice and geez, such a huge curved radius. Look at that. That's that's just weird. But anyway, it is what it is. So doubling these tracks. Um, all right. So oh, that's the back end there. So let's double these. It's a pity about the bridge, but duplicating a bridge isn't that much. So let's run these down to here. The earthworks part is um, is a bit, but it is what it is. It doesn't matter too much. Let's keep going this way. Just setting the direction of travel. We will need a gridiron up here. So that's a gridiron, and we'll also need some service towers or supply towers. So let's put another supply tower out here. And I'm fully aware I haven't completed this part yet. I just need to do a touch of demolition. I can hear everyone saying, "Smile pie, come on, don't forget about that part of the track, otherwise it won't bloody work. The whole thing, you would have stuffed it." And you're right. So I haven't forgotten. So that's our connection. If we zoom out, you can see the supply towers, and if I turn on the topography, they're easier to see. So that's the connection done. Um, I guess we have to run a train from Albany to Ottawa now. So let's do that. Albany Express to Ottawa. Let's start by the name. So that's Albany. I'll take away the Express. Albany to Ottawa. We're running a Dunham. Let's have two. And then again, I haven't. Do we need a mail cart? Let's put a mail cart on there. That reminds me, I need to put mail carts on all the other trains as well. So we'll be doing that at some stage. I'll do it off camera. I was supposed to do it off camera between episode 9 and 10, but smile pie, you didn't. You forgot. So I think that's our train. So that's good. That will take care of itself now and run automatically, and we'll pick up that connection bonus. So I'm pretty sure we've spent less than what that connection bonus is. So either way, it gives us a little boost. So now we can continue with our our goals down here in New York. So we've expanded that. So let's get this end ready for business. So we want platform 1 to be our Boston platform, and we want platform 3 to be to be our Albany platform. And then we're not going to, did we want to have a Portland platform as well? May as well. That'd utilize our our bypass in Boston then. So let's do that. So platform one for Boston, platform 3 for Portland, and platform 5 for Albany. So how are we going to do that? First, I'll pause it. I'll put the topography on. Do we want platform 1 to run on the outside as well? I don't know if we need to. I don't think we need to. So first up, I will demolish the gridiron. I will demolish a section of platform 2, or of where's it going? Of demolish a section of this track. Let's run that in. Let's do the same for this one. So remembering that's going to be our Portland track, and then this one's going to be our Albany track. So let's demolish that from back here, and we can run that into there. Oh, 81, that's not good enough, but that's better. So let's run the direction of travel for some of these. There we go. And there we go. Proper Australian direction of travel. Not confusing, perfectly fine. Thank you for everyone else's patience. So now this one, this track that runs into platform 3, we'll need to get around the corner and make a join. So let's do that. That will work. That works. And we'll also need to potentially do that again, or alternatively, let's just build like we're in the like we've got the train volumes that justify it. So this these sets of tracks here, they're going to be for Albany. So let's run this as a dedicated line for Albany and run it all the way up to the join here. So I'll run it to there. Let's duplicate that. So we're duplicating that all the way up to here. And now what we'll need to do is we'll need this curve to hook on to that new dedicated Albany track. And so what that will do is that will remove a conflict point with all Boston Portland trains, and the Albany New York trains will have their own dedicated line. So the only point of conflict will be up here when these trains need to merge onto the same track. But at some point we'll come along and we'll quad these tracks, which will then mean that we'll remove that conflict point. But I'm not going to do that now. First up, all I'm going to do now is I'll demolish these tracks here, and I will get these to tie in down here, and hopefully we achieve a not quite a max. Let's just let's cut these back just a touch, and hopefully we achieve a max grade. So alternatively, if we don't achieve it, I'd have to cut it back that way, which we can do. Let's just do that. So that's going and that's going, and we can have that, yeah, go up to a certain point and then curve around and tie in. We'll figure it out. So that's gonna work. So do we have to take it further? Don't have to. And then let's duplicate that, and we are so annoying. Why is it 94? It shouldn't be 94. Let's okay, let's undo that, and let's get it so it's perfect. Otherwise, it's just going to ship me. So let's see how that goes. I think it's a little bit of a quirk because 95. Do you ever just want to tell something to fuck off? All right, it's going to bug me. I'm fully bugged. It's going to bug me. So what I want to do, the part that we updated before, where it's that little kink, I want to run that straight from here to here, and that'll fix our annoying bloody thing that we're dealing with. So let's try that. Let's take that out. Let's take that out, and let's redo that main line, and it'll be nice and that'll be nice and smooth. So we've got direction of travel re-established, and let's re-establish the curve. So there we go. That's no dramas, and that's no dramas. See, everything's nice and as it should be. So let's reinstate the direction of travel, and that has created our free platforms that we can use for specific destinations. And the only thing outstanding is the bypass line. So let's get the bypass line on. So where can we join on the bypass line? So I'll run it all the way back to here, and then that way that will give an opportunity for the Boston Portland trains to come across and then come across onto the bypass. So, well, actually, I'll have these. Yeah, I'll. The bloody service tower. Let's try and fit it in before the service tower. So, is it going to work? It's not going to fit due to the bloody service tower. So let's get rid of that service tower for now, supply tower, and let's fit in our bypass line. See, that'll work. That works. Let's get that across. That works. And then here we can have, let's run it from, that's a little trick that we need to do. Okay, so just complete this connection now. Yeah, we'll set our directions of travel, so that takes care of everything. So what we've done then is we've hooked up the bypass to the Albany leg, and then we've also built the switch between the Albany leg and the Boston leg. So that way, that enables us to have trains that can come from Albany, bypass New York, and continue on their way south to Philadelphia, and the same for Boston as well. So that's all set up now. So on the south side of the station here, let's do a couple of bits and pieces. So we don't need the platform 1 connection, we don't need the platform 3 connection, and we don't need the platform 5 connection. So, but we will set up the destinations. So hopefully I've left enough space, which I have. And last one, platform 6. Why don't you want to work? Let's that's a bit better. So we'll set our directions of travel here as well. So that, and that, and that, and that with that. So now we've got the southern end of our station ready to go when we expand in the future into Philadelphia. So that's looking very nice. And just to finish things off, we've got Boston trains that come into. Let's set the platform here. So we've got them coming into platform 1. So let's make sure that they come into platform 1. So we'll select that, and we can put the mail train on, the mail carriage on. I mean, so that's done, and we also needed to update the name of that. So so it's platform 1 to platform 1. So that's good. And we'll edit the name of the station while we're here as well, because that's something that we hadn't done. So it's going to be New York City Express. So, and we also had New York City to Albany. So you can see how it's automatically picked up. It's on this outside line here, and it's set to run into platform 5. So let's update the name to P5, and let's give them the mail carts as well, or the mail. And there we go. So we've got 4 trains from each. Let's up that to 6. So something that I've found playing this game is the maximum, or the optimum number of trains. It seems to be 6. So 6 running into a specific platform. It will, if you have more than 6, this is just by observation. It will they'll back up. So any more than 6, and obviously it depends on the distance, but approximately the cities have a similar distance between them, just because of how it is. The train will arrive, be unloaded and loaded, turn around and be on its way. If you have 6 going back and forth, that's fine. But if you load it up to beyond 6, say 8 or 10, you'll end up with a backlog of trains. And what that does is it affects the amount of revenue that you collect per train. So the mail and the passengers are dependent on speed. So you want to have fast connections going between both areas. whereas the freight, it doesn't matter about speed for freight. So when you're building passenger line tracks, you want to keep those grades as low as possible, so that way you can maximize the train's operating speed. So hence why there's all the fuss that I do about having grades and having the right you know having it all maximized for turns and all of that stuff that I do. So we've got our one of our trains here. Let's follow him or her. Could be a lady train, but Smile Pie, they're just machines. They're not he or her or they or them or anything. They're just a bloody train. Yeah, good point. So let's ride along with bloody old mate and knackers. Let's say hello to these boys. Oh, here he is. There they are. What's been happening, boys? It's just, oh, old mate looks like he's a bit Oh, our bonus come up for Ottawa, I assume. But old mate looked a bit staring into space a bit, that 1,000-yard stare. Whereas Knackers, he's I don't know. I think he's up for a good time, not a long time. But anyway, that's those two boys. They're busy. Let's put the game speed on high because we need to raise our money. We're getting our population up, which is good. I spent a lot of time on pause setting up that track arrangement. So we've got some catching up to do now. So we could build the university in Boston, which I think we'll go ahead and do because we'll need to grow Boston beyond beyond its current cap. So the University of Boston, next to the railway station, because everybody loves it. So now fulfillment of demand is still up there, so it will continue to go. We'll have to upgrade all of these industries at some stage, but I'm not going to do that now because our priority is New Year's Eve, party time. Party time with the quarterly balance. Any accountants out there, they'd be loving this. They bloody do love it. Accountants, they're an unusual bunch. Like looking at this screen right now, this is your job as an accountant. This is all you do all day. What a crap job, honestly. But we need yous, or do we? I think we do. But I'm definitely not with them in terms of what they do. They can bloody keep that stuff. But yeah, in summary, all of our rev is up, our expenses are tracking, and we're looking pretty good. So good on us. So we're saving up for buying our competitors' stock, which let's go buy a bunch of it right now. So competitor trade company shares. Give. What can we get? We can get 15%. I'd say we can. Let's do that. So we're up to 35%. Old Mates Railway, Barty with your tartan pants. Yeah, that's a bold statement. He's a brave man wearing tartan pants. Let's give him that. We're not far off our research points. I guess once the month ticks over, we'll have more research points to spend. Something that we can do. I want to check on the passenger listings for New York. See, there's not a great deal of passengers that want to go down to New York, but let's run a train because we set the bypass up at So this is, see how this is going to utilize our Boston bypass. So let's add a mail car on there. Let's make that 2 trains. to express. Gotta have our, and we don't want the names that like the thing to run too long. So New York to, and we've got to set the platform. So we're coming into platform 3 in New York. So that by doing that, that dictates the actual exact platform that we're coming into. So we've got two platforms or 2 trains on that. So eventually we'll get it up to 6 or more. We'll maximize what we can achieve. But those trains will run now. Let's go to Boston and look at the train lines operating from Boston. What have we got? Albany 663, and there's still a freight line on there. Let's have a look at that. Can we rejig that? I think we can, because we got the freight connected up here. So let's fix that up. So let's delete that, and then we'll add that, and that can do that'll fix up now. So if we close that, this is one of the game quirks. It doesn't want to refresh itself. I've clicked on a train, and now the freight one's gone. So that's what we wanted. So we've got 15 passenger trains. Let's add more Portland trains on there. We'll just add an extra one. Let's click on the mail carts as well. So I think while I've been talking, we can do our research. So the Derwent, let's hit that one up. Now I'm not going to replace any of the existing trains, any of the existing engines. So near Parkersburg, where is Parkersburg? A corn farm. Whoa, look at that, bloody 1.2 mil. And it's just too far away to be what we need. So I'm not going to buy it. But I'm not paying 1.2 mil for a corn farm, even though, well, I probably will one day if we ever get that far away. But it's expensive. So what have we got? We've got a little bit of congestion going on down here, but nothing that we can't handle. New York to Albany to Boston, that's all looking pretty good. Eventually, we'll have to do the same for Albany Station, where we've got these. I think I can call them intricate track works. So we'll do that. Now that engine shed, I just want to clear that little one away. So I hope everyone else on the broadcast, I hope they do the same. When you get a message on your phone, I can't just leave that like that number on there, whether it's WhatsApp or Messenger or just text messages. I can't just leave the number 12 10 2 1. It has to be cleared. I won't do it. Like, I can't leave it sitting there. So what am I doing? I'm buying stock. So let's get into some more stock. We can buy another 15%. You've noticed I like to keep all my numbers as round figures. So we've got 50% of Old Mate's company. So Mr. Tartan Pants. So we're going all right, but I'm afraid we're coming up to the end of our time for this particular video. We haven't achieved any further goals, but we have set ourselves up very nicely to achieve some of these next time. So we've bought half of this guy's company. We've connected New York very intricately for future growth. we can do the salt at any time. So let's check New York's population. It's past 72,000, so we can do the salt at any time. And we're not too far away from hooking up to Philadelphia. So, but what I want to do before we charge on to Philadelphia, I want to buy Barty's company so we can demolish all of this stuff and just charge in and establish our own station without all this other, you know, stuff in the way, essentially. So that's the method there. So looking up the rest of the network, I don't think we really need to do anything else for now. I did touch on realigning these, but it's not a priority. Maybe next time we'll look at the businesses as well. But that's all we'll do today. So if you've made it to the end, thank you for sticking around. So please remember to like, subscribe, comment, comment about what you've seen here today, if you like it, if you don't like it, or whatever else you want to comment about. Every, I do read all the comments. Well, it's easy when there's hardly any comments, but I do look at them every day. It's quite a novelty, this hobby for me. So yes, thank you, and remember, with small bites, every pie can be eaten. Thank you.